It was one of those perfect mornings on the ranch. Dew still clinging to the grass, the hum of diesel engines from the barn, and that sweet smell of coffee mixed with motor oil. My Ford F-350 Super Duty, the pride of my ranch fleet, was parked right where it always is, by the barn doors, spotless, gleaming, and running smoother than a stallion in springtime. That truck isn't just a vehicle. It's a lifeline. It hauls hay, pulls livestock trailers, and drags generators out to the far paddocks. Around here, a diesel truck isn't luxury, it's survival. But of course, Karen didn't see it that way. Now, ever since she'd been booted from the HOA presidency for car theft, yeah, the Tesla incident still haunted her. She'd been looking for a new way to reassert her authority. She found it in my truck. I came home one afternoon and noticed something strange. My truck was gone. Not someone borrowed it, gone. Not, I forgot where I parked, gone. Gone. At first, I thought maybe one of my ranch hands had moved it to the far paddock. I radioed around, nothing. Then I saw it. A folded piece of paper stuck to the barn door with blue tape. It read, "This vehicle has been removed for violating HOA Environmental Compliance Code 7.4, unauthorized diesel emissions. Signed, Acting HOA Compliance Officer, Karen Wilson." I stood there, staring at that note, and laughed so hard my dog tilted his head at me like I'd lost my mind. 10 minutes later, I tracked down where she'd had it towed. Mike's Towing Yard, 2 miles down the road. I drove there in my ATV, still half laughing. Mike, the owner, looked embarrassed when I walked in. "Walker, man, I didn't know it was yours." Karen said the HOA ordered it removed from community property. Said it was parked illegally. I pointed toward the dusty highway. "Mike, my barn is not community property. It's 40 acres outside HOA limits." His jaw dropped. "You're kidding." I showed him the deed, the coordinates, everything. He whistled. "Well, hell, she's in trouble." I paid the impound fee just to get my truck back. But I wasn't about to let Karen get away with this one. So I called my lawyer, Samantha Lee, who's handled more Karen incidents than the sheriff's office has parking tickets. Samantha didn't even hesitate. File a claim for wrongful towing, property interference, and defamation. She's cooked. We sent the paperwork that afternoon. 2 days later, HOA called an emergency meeting because apparently Karen used HOA funds to hire the tow truck. Meaning every homeowner was about to get slapped with her bill. Oh, it gets better. When she tried to defend herself, she told the board, diesel vehicles are banned under HOA bylaws for environmental reasons. One of the board members raised an eyebrow. "Karen, that bylaw only applies to non-residential commercial trucks parked on HOA roads. Walker's Ranch isn't part of the HOA." She went pale. "Well, it's adjacent. That makes it part of the visual community." Samantha leaned forward and slid a printed map across the table. "Ma'am, adjacent doesn't mean owned. You crossed jurisdictional boundaries, authorized towing on private land, and used community funds to pay for it. That's 3 counts of misappropriation and 1 of fraud." Karen tried to speak, but the HOA president, who looked like he was about ready to quit life altogether, sighed and said, "Karen, we're suspending you indefinitely." A week later, the county small claims court ruled in my favor. The HOA, not just Karen, was ordered to pay me $10,000 in damages for illegal towing, lost work time, and mental distress caused by malicious interference. When I went to pick up the check, Karen was sitting outside the office, arms crossed, glaring daggers at me. "You think you're funny, don't you?" she snapped. I smiled. "Nah. I think I'm efficient. You could learn from it." That weekend, I decided to celebrate properly. I backed my F-350 up right to the HOA office, hooked up a big flatbed trailer, and parked it across the entrance, with a giant banner on the back that said, "Illegal diesel, court approved." Neighbors came out, laughing, snapping photos. Even the sheriff stopped by and said, "Walker, you're becoming a local legend." Karen, meanwhile, hid behind the blinds, probably filing a complaint against reality itself. And the cherry on top, I donated the $10,000 payout to the county's Youth Ranching Scholarship Fund. Under the name the Karen Diesel Education Initiative. A month later, the local paper ran a piece titled, "Rancher Wins Against HOA, Turns Payout into Scholarship Fund." The comments section was merciless. "Karen's allergic to common sense. She got smoked by diesel justice. That truck's cleaner than her reputation. Now, every morning when I start my truck and hear that diesel purr, I can't help but grin. Because some engines don't just run on fuel, they run on revenge and poetic justice. Tractor dashing away, money with wings.